Welcome to your daily news roundup, where we cover the most critical global events. Today's update includes everything from political turbulence in Venezuela to new military strategies in Croatia, and much more. Let's get started. Our first stop is Venezuela, where political tensions continue to rise. On Thursday, Jorge Rodriguez, the head of Venezuela's National Assembly, made a bold announcement. He declared that any organization refusing to accept the Supreme Court's validation of President Nicolas Maduro's recent election win will be banned from participating in future elections. This move has triggered widespread accusations of electoral manipulation by Maduro's administration, especially from the opposition. Rodriguez further stated that this policy would be solidified through an amendment to the law of political parties. This law, originally passed in 1965, governs public gatherings, protests, and demonstrations tied to political groups, granting the government significant authority to act against those perceived as threats to public order. The National Assembly has also urged Venezuela's judiciary to investigate individuals accused of crimes like usurpation and incitement to hatred, specifically targeting opposition leaders Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo González Urrutia. These developments are part of Maduro's ongoing efforts to silence the opposition. Following his disputed victory announced on July 29, Venezuelan authorities have intensified their crackdown on opposition leaders, demonstrators, and anyone challenging Maduro's rule. According to the Attorney General, around 2,200 people have been arrested, though independent groups like Foro Penal report a slightly lower count of 1,416. Including women, children, and even individuals with disabilities. The repression extends beyond Venezuela's borders as well. Maduro has expelled diplomats from countries like Chile, Peru, and Argentina, who questioned the legitimacy of his election win. Argentina's expulsion led to a diplomatic standoff when 6 Venezuelan asylum seekers sought refuge in its embassy, resulting in a siege by Venezuelan authorities. To resolve the crisis, Brazil agreed to take over the embassies of the expelled nations, ensuring the safety of the asylum seekers and representing the interests of these countries' citizens. Now to Europe, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has voiced frustration over delayed military aid from Western allies. In a recent speech, Zelensky pointed out that while several significant defense packages have been approved and funded, they have not yet arrived in Ukraine. With the new school year nearing, he warned that further delays could lead to additional losses and destruction as Russia's aggression continues. Zelensky did not specify which countries were behind the delays, but it's known that some U.S. military aid is expected to take years before it reaches Ukraine. This situation highlights the ongoing difficulties Ukraine faces as it defends itself against Russian forces. In Croatia, the government is planning to reintroduce mandatory military service starting January 1st of next year. Defense Minister Ivan Anušić announced a 2-month draft in response to escalating tensions in Europe, particularly due to Russia's actions in Ukraine and increased military activity in the Balkans. This move marks a significant change from Croatia's previous system, which relied on voluntary service and was suspended in 2008. Anušić emphasized that reinstating conscription aligns with Croatia's efforts to modernize its armed forces and support its troops in line with NATO commitments. This decision reflects a broader trend in Europe, where countries like Latvia and Serbia are taking similar steps in response to regional instability. New footage out of China has shown one of the first glimpses of an advanced Chinese stealth drone, the GJ-11, also known as the Sharp Sword. This drone, which bears a striking resemblance to the American X-47B, is designed for precision strikes and reconnaissance missions, all while evading radar detection. The similarity between the GJ-11 and the US-made X-47B has sparked discussions about China's rapid advancements in military technology and what this could mean for global security. And finally, a lighter story from the world of sports. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert and several teammates were trapped in an elevator for 2 hours at their hotel in Dallas the night before a preseason game. Despite the situation, Herbert remained calm and composed, earning praise from his coach, Jim Harbaugh, for his leadership. The Chargers went on to win their preseason matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, with Herbert's composure during the elevator incident becoming a highlight for the team. Canada is stepping up its efforts to combat nicotine addiction among teenagers by introducing new regulations on the sale of nicotine pouches. Beginning August 28th, flavored nicotine pouches will no longer be available in convenience stores and gas stations. The only exceptions are menthol and mint flavors, which will be restricted to behind-the-counter sales at pharmacies. Health Minister Mark Holland highlighted the government's intention to crack down on products designed to appeal to young people, stating, "All the stuff that's clearly designed to target youth, it's over." This move is part of a broader strategy by Ottawa to address the growing issue of nicotine addiction among the youth population. In response to these changes, Imperial Tobacco, the company behind Zonic nicotine pouches, has 6 months to comply with new packaging and advertising requirements. These include the addition of addiction warnings and the removal of any marketing that could be seen as targeting young people. Eric Gagnon, Imperial Tobacco's Vice President of Corporate and Regulatory Affairs, criticized the new rules, accusing Holland of having a personal vendetta against the company. Gagnon argued that the new restrictions primarily disadvantage adult smokers who rely on products like Zonic as alternatives to traditional tobacco. Health advocates, however, have long called for stricter regulations. They have expressed concerns about the colorful packaging and appealing flavors that could lure younger audiences. Cynthia Callard, Executive Director of Physicians for a Smoke-Free Canada, emphasized the importance of these new restrictions as the new school year begins. She noted that the fall term is crucial in setting norms among students and limiting the introduction of new nicotine products in schools. This latest regulatory action reflects Canada's ongoing commitment to public health, particularly in protecting young people from the risks associated with nicotine addiction. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.